Guess what today is? Today is the very last clue for Sundae Stars. Can you believe it? 21 weeks. We have met and sewn clues for this quilt, and as much as I have enjoyed it, I have loved it. I am so glad we are doing the last clue today and we can go on to assembling this quilt. How about you? Where are you at with your quilt? Are you having fun? I think that's the most important thing. Y'all, I am hoping that next week we can meet live. And I'm hoping I can talk a little bit better. I am 2.5 weeks into post extractions. 3 days ago I had a soft reline and it's feeling much better. My bite is still a little off, but they think they can fix that. But they have to let my bottom gums heal just a little bit more before they do the next thing, which is a little bit more permanent as far as fixing my bottom temporaries. I'm looking forward to it. I still say my S's, I still sound very hissy. But in case you've been following along in my new teeth journey, that's an update for you. I've been doing lots of fun stuff, y'all. I've been trying to learn my machine so that when we come together to assemble this quilt, I'm not trying to figure out what all the buttons do. So I've had a lot of fun in this last week exploring my new machine, sewing on it, which, by the way, during our 24-hour quilt retreat on Patreon last weekend, I completed all of my clues. So I'm not sure what I'm going to say. Y'all, the next part of this video where we do the clue was pre-recorded almost 2 months ago. I don't know the dates, but almost 2 months ago. You're going to see my hair looks a lot shorter. I'm trying to let my hair grow out. It's so hard. I'm trying to let my undercut grow out. See that? It's getting longer, but trying to grow out an undercut is so hard for me. I've done it before, but I think I'm going to try and let my hair grow. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. We're going to go with it, but my hair is going to be a lot shorter here in a minute when you see me. And I have lots of new stuff coming out. A watermelon mug rug. I sewed this. Look at that quilting. See that? I even digitized the watermelon. The pattern's not going to come digitized. It's going to be my normal pattern, right, with the applique. But I wanted to just try and learn this machine a little bit. So I stitched everything on my embroidery machine. That was fun. We're planning a nautical landscape class on Patreon. That's going to be fun. I'm going to show you a picture of that coming up in a little preview. Yeah, we're doing so much. Our garden is keeping us so busy. Harlan's out there tending every day, and I'm preserving all the food that comes in, and I'm a little backlogged. But I think I'm going to make some pickles tomorrow, starting tomorrow. They're like 4-day pickles. Have you ever made them? They're so good. Our family has made them for years, and so I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying to think of what else. Our little baby chick is growing up. She's still out there doing good. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just show a little slideshow of some home updates, and then we're jumping into the last clue. Are you ready? Let's go. Here is our little baby. We have named her Ivory. And she is venturing more and more away from her mom. Like, her mom is not even anywhere close to her right now. She's just doing her own thing. She is doing really good. I wanted to show y'all Rudy because, a couple weeks after we got him, he had a couple of hunting dogs attack him. And he has finally grown out all of his tail feathers. Doesn't he look so great? Y'all, some of our Concord grapes are ripening. The sad thing is our grapes are not doing halfway near as many as they did last year. I don't know if it's the heat or the lack of rain, Our garden is flourishing, y'all. The green beans have finally started to thicken up. You can see them tall in the background. We have some sunflowers coming up. We just harvested the potatoes in that empty box right there. We have done so good with our garden. We spent a day out on the water. There's a lighthouse that's about a mile away from our house. Isn't that pretty? We went out fishing. I digitized my logo block, and this was the first thing I embroidered on my new Altair. Y'all, this thing sews like a Cadillac. It is so smooth. I absolutely am having so much fun. If you're on Patreon, I uploaded the stitch file for my logo block, so you can go grab that if you haven't seen it and you have an embroidery machine. I am stitching this out on an apron. I always think it's fun to watch the machine stitch out things, don't you think so? So here is my logo block stitched out on my apron. I thought that would be fun to wear during my cooking videos. Here is a preview of the art quilt that we're going to be doing on Patreon. I figured I better go ahead and just try this out before I try and teach a class on it. And if you're a member of the Creative Crew on Facebook, go download this recipe and send me a recipe from your family, because I'm putting together a cookbook and I would love to include your recipe, and I'm hoping to have it done by Christmas. Okay, y'all, let's go get started. Welcome back to my house, everybody. I'm Lisa with the Quiltmaker Homestead. I thought today it would all be fitting that we start off today's video with the full glimpse of Sundae Stars. Y'all, today is clue number 21, the very last foundation clue that makes up the last of the pieces to make up the last of the blocks and the sashing units and all of that fun stuff. And this is the final view of our quilt. Now, I know some of you have been waiting for today to decide if you wanted to make this quilt. What do you think? What do you think? Don't you just love it? I absolutely love it. Today is the last day of the pre-recorded clues. I'm recording this on June the 5th. And I think it's going to be like into the first part of August when you're seeing this. We have done so much work. 21 weeks we have hung out and sewed on different parts of this quilt top. I want to thank you all for hanging out. The duration, whether you're making this quilt or not, the duration of all these videos week to week. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you give this quilt a try. I hope you do. Okay, everybody, let's just take a close-up view of what we're doing this week. We're making one last section to complete this star block that has the light background, right? So this block this quilt has pink background stars and light background stars, and the stars are different, right, between the two different blocks. This is what the completed block looks like. Isn't that great? Now, one of the cool things about this quilt, and I think I've said it a couple times, is sometimes when you put together pieced sashing in your quilt, you get some really cool secondary patterns. Do you see the little star? I'm going to put a little arrow pointing to it right here. The little star of where the sashing units come together form this little secondary brown star with a dark pink center. Isn't that really cool? I kind of really love that. So this quilt top has stars all over it, doesn't it? It has great big star blocks. It has great big star blocks with star blocks in the middle. And the sashing comes together and makes little stars in the intersections. This has been so much fun. Let me pull this off the screen. Today's clues require some assembly. So let's come down to the pressing mat and let's just take a look at everything, okay? And this is the last week. Well, this is the last clue, Lisa. This clue does use the light pink fabric. How are you doing on your light pink fabric, or whichever fabric you're using in place of the light pink? This week, I'm telling you, you need one strip, just one more strip that is 3¼ inches wide, right? From that, we're going to cut 6 pieces. Now, if you have less than 3¼ let's just take a look at how we can reduce the size of this A template to stretch us through. I am so hoping you've had enough. Oh, but before I move on, as part of clue number 21, if you've been on the fence or you want to design another quilt, like you've done this quilt and you want to do another one, maybe you want to play around with the color theme of this quilt, right? Here is a full-size coloring page for this quilt. Maybe you don't want to do another quilt, but you like coloring, so you could just print off a couple of these and have fun with that, right? But I wanted to give you this in case you are wanting to do another quilt, or you've waited to the last minute, and because the colors, you know, you don't want to do my colors, but you can't decide where you want to put all the colors. This way you could plan it, right? And you could even play around with coloring in the sashing units a solid color. One strip of fabric, right? And instead of piecing all of those sashing units, I would tell you, I think this quilt would go by so much faster had we not spent so much time on the sashing. Was it worth it? I think so. But let me just tell you, I think this quilt would just equally be as sweet and attractive had we done a fabric strip, one solid piece, for that sashing. It would almost give your eyes a place to rest, right? So you can play around with this page and print it off several times until you get a layout that you really like with the colors that you want to use, right? So that is in this PDF, okay? So let's go over to this template page, and the A template is right here. We need 6 more light pink fabrics. The original number is 3¼ inches, and let me just find my ruler. I'll remeasure this if you need to reduce the size. Reducing the size cuts off quite a bit, right? I'm hoping that that's been enough. I'm hoping that that's been enough to stretch out the fabric. Okay, let's take a new measurement of piece A, right? So 2 3/4, 2.75. That is the number to cut your strip if you're reducing the size of your strips, right? And reducing the size of your template. That's quite a difference, isn't it? I'm hoping that that's enough. Oh my glory. I've been so heartsick about that, y'all. And I know I've said it several times through all these videos. But I've just been heartsick about it. Okay, so let's take a look at the foundations this week. This week we're going to print 6 copies, and that's going to give us a total of 6 units. There's 1 unit on a page, right? You got to cut it apart, paste it together. I've already done that, so there we go. And this unit should measure 12½ inches from the outside line to the outside line here. And you're going to notice my little red numbers. I've renumbered everything. You could sew them in the original order that I had, but About a quarter of the way in with this quilt, I really liked starting here in the middle and working my way out. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, okay? I have my fabric pieces here. Let me turn on this light. And let me switch to screens for the last time, at least making the clues. Y'all, we still have a lot to do. We have to put all this stuff together. Let me switch to screens. There we go. I have bread in the oven. Let me just tell you, if you weren't hungry before putting bread in the oven, it won't be long before you're hungry. Oh, it smells good. Okay, we're gonna flip this right on over. We're starting right here in the middle. Yeah, that smells good. I forgot to pull out one of these fabrics. Give me just a second. Y'all, all my clues are in these bags. I have 20, like, I don't know how many, 12 or 13 of these bags with all my pieces in them, separating them. I'm here doing clue number 21 with you, and I have half of the quilt in these little bags. But that's okay, because my hope is that by the time you watch this, I think it's going to be in August, I should have all of those clues all caught up. I don't know. I'm probably in the premiere live chat right now. If you're watching this as it airs for the first time, I'll let you know in the live chat how I'm doing. But I'm hoping that I'm telling you right now, I'm all caught up. Okay, so now we're going to move right on over here to the light pink. And that long side of the triangle is going just like this. Long part of the triangle right there. We're going to flip that over. Ouch. I need to put a pool noodle there or something. I hit my knee on that at least 4 times a day. You would think I would be used to it. Nope. All right, we're coming back here. Y'all probably getting tired of hearing me say we're gonna flip the paper over, trim off the little bits, add some glue, flip over the fabric and press it down. 21 weeks of saying that. Y'all probably like, I'm so sick and tired of her saying that. All right, there's the light pink. Now let's just move on over here and do the dark pink one, right? The long side of the triangle on the diagonal. And we're flipping. Watch your knee, Lisa. We're flipping and trimming. And we're pressing. So once these 3 pieces of fabric have been sewn onto our foundation. All we have left at that point is to piece the two ends, right? So I'm going to bring this over one time and sew both of these on there. There's my first one, right? Let's flip it around. Bring in the second one. Right side facing up. Flip it over. And we'll just sew that seam while we're right here. It's kind of funny pre-recording these videos. Like in the last 2 days, I've done 4, 5, 6, 7 videos for this quilt in just 2 days. I'm on a deadline. But it's kind of funny pre-recording these because I know that I'm going to be watching this sometime in August. And I just wonder how everything is going to be, like what our garden looks like by then. How much canning have we done from June the 5th to August? Like, I just wonder, my future me. How's future me doing? I know I'm a goofball, y'all. And I really am not even going to apologize about that. Y'all know. I'm coming over here and I'm trimming up these 2 bits. I'm going to turn, watch your eyes, I'm going to turn this. This is the longer unit, so I might have to come over here. We'll see. Let's go ahead and add some glue to these spaces here. Oh my goodness, that bread is really smelling good now. Whew. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's trim up the short sides first, and maybe it'll fit on this little. I'm using the mini glow mat on my premium light board because I like being able to work off of these grids. I can see a little bit better, right? But I like also having the cutting mat on the glue board too. So I've been using my mini cutting board on my premium glow board, or light board. Is it gonna fit? Yes. I'm zoomed in a little bit, so you're not gonna see everything, but y'all know exactly what I'm doing at this point in the game. Harlan is working from home today. I know that when he walks in this house from his office, he's going to smell that bread. We're going to have to cut the bread probably before it even cools off. Because it's about lunchtime. It's actually a little bit past lunchtime. If he comes in here and smells that bread, we're going to have to eat some warm bread. Darn. Okay, so here is the back side of this clue. And here is the perfect front side of this clue. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Why I love paper piecing. Let me go check this bread, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm glad I checked. I knew by the smell of that it was getting close. I'm glad I went and checked because it cooked up way faster today than it normally does. That's interesting. Like maybe, I don't know. I don't know why it does that. That's why it's always good just to keep an eye on your stuff, even if you set a timer, right? Usually it goes for another 5 minutes. So that's interesting. Okay, everybody. This is it. That is our last clue for this project. Now my hope is, as we're watching this, and this is our last clue, that next week we start assembling all of these units and making blocks, right? And completing a sashing unit. And then we'll start making rows and attaching rows. All of that is still yet to come, right? Now you might have worked ahead because why not, if you didn't have anything else to do. But that's what we have coming up here on my channel on Fridays, is we're going to start assembling these pieces. And my hope, okay, please don't, this is not set in stone. This is me saying this on June the 5th. But my hope is, since we got Starlink internet, that I can come live on Fridays as we make the blocks, right? And one Friday we'll take all of the units that make one block and I'll walk you through that, right? And then the next week we'll do another block, and until we have all the blocks, and then I'll walk you through assembling all the blocks into rows and all that fun stuff. But by all means, if y'all know what to do, you could work ahead. And I just want you to know that it has been such an honor to have you following along with me in this quilt project. And I know many of you aren't even making this quilt and don't have any intention to ever make this quilt, and you're still here each week. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting me here on my channel. I'm gonna go slice into some of this bread in about 5 minutes, and we're gonna eat some warm bread with some melty butter for lunch. That's my plan. I look forward to seeing you next Friday. Have fun with our very last clue, everybody. Bye.